like open borders, etc. You say, are they stupid? They're not stupid, but they are, I think, really maybe trying to destroy our country because there's no other reason for it. Now we're ready to take our American First economic program to even greater heights. When I'm elected, we will have tax cuts, regulation cuts, energy price cuts, and interest rates cuts like you've never seen before, even with me. You know what caused the inflation was energy. It's not that complicated. And it also caused Putin to go into Ukraine, although he would have never done it if I was president, even if he did have the energy resources. Because, you know, when it went up to $100 a barrel, he makes a fortune on a war. He'll be the only guy to ever make a fortune on a war. And Biden's the one complaining, but he's the one that drove the energy prices up. So he caused the war with his stupidity, with his absolute, look, he's the most corrupt. He's the most, just the most absolute. He's the worst president in the history of our country. He's the most. He's grossly incompetent. He talks about the war, but he's driving the energy prices up. And Putin's whole economy is in energy. And so at $100 a barrel, no matter what he spends on the war, that's the way it is. But Putin would have never done it. I met with him many times. Ukraine was the apple of his eye. But I said, Vladimir, don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it, this is what's going to happen. Someday I'll tell you what I said. He said, no way. I said, way. He said, no way you'll do that. I said, I will. I swear to you, I will. I'm going to do it. And he didn't believe me. But he believed me 10%. And that's all you needed. That was it. Same thing with President Xi in China. Don't go into Taiwan. He believed me 10% too, and that was enough. But, you know, it's what's happened is so bad. I think a lot of it started with Afghanistan. That was the most incompetent withdrawal in history. They withdrew, think of it, they withdrew the military first. You take your citizens out first, you take the people you need out first, then you get your $85 billion worth of equipment and you get it out. Brand new military equipment. You know, if you look at it, Afghanistan now is, I think, the #2 merchant in the world for selling military equipment. They're selling the stuff we gave them, brand new, gorgeous stuff. I rebuilt the entire military. They gave $85 billion of it away. The good news is we have plenty of others, although we're very low on ammunition. We're low because we're giving so much. It's very, very bad. We are closer to World War III than we've ever been, and I'm the only one that will prevent World War III. I'm telling you, we are closer to World War III. And that won't be a war with army tanks going back and forth here. That will be a war with weaponry, the likes of which this world has never seen before. I know it. I know it better than anybody. And these are weapons. You'll need God. That's true. He said God. Well, thank you very much. That's a beautiful. He said, God gave me to you. How nice is that? Oh, I like this man. Wow. Well, I hope that's right. Oh, great. I hope you're right about that, though. That's a great honor that you even say it. Under the Trump administration, patriotic protectionism. We need protection. You know, some people would say, oh, that's such a terrible word. It's not a terrible. Nationalism is not a bad word either. I'm nationalistic. I think most of the people here. But if you say that to the radical left lunatics, they'll say, oh, that's terrible, conspiracy. But it'll be the American way, and the American way of life again used to be that way. It's time for a rebirth of loyalty to our country. We need loyalty to our country. To protect American workers and families, I will impose an across-the-board tariff on foreign-made goods that come into our country. If they're going to come into our country, and if they're going to pillage, in many ways, our country, or do a good job, they have to pay for the right to come into our country. Because right now they're destroying our country on trade. We have trade imbalances at levels that nobody's ever seen. And I was all set to do it, and then we had the COVID situation, and we had other problems. But we're going to do it, and we were doing it, and we made incredible trade deals. We did so much. I will pass what's called the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. That means that if China or any other country makes us pay a 100 or 200% tariff, which in many cases they do, we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200%. We don't do that. We've done it on individual cases where I was able to get it done, but We're going to do it for everybody. When they charge us, a lot of countries, not only China, but you have a lot of countries, they'll sell a motorbike, they'll put a tariff on Harley Davidsons going into India of 150%. And they sell what's called Indian motorbikes, lesser level, and we put a tariff on them of nothing. But we did a big thing in my administration, and you know what they want? They want Harley Davidson or whoever to go to India and build a plant. That way they say you have no tariffs. Well, we lose all those jobs. So we're gonna hit them very hard. Everybody, we're gonna hit them very hard. Reciprocal trade. They put it on us, we put it on them. One of two things is going to happen. We'll collect a lot of money, and that's fine, and so will they. Or they'll drop the tax, and we'll drop the tax, and it's simple. You don't have an accounting problem. And as tariffs go on foreign countries, they go up, taxes go on American workers and small businesses and middle-class families will come way down as we do this, because all of this money that will be taken in, all of these jobs that will be taken in, you know, when you do that, you're going to be opening up plants here and all over the United States. And that's what China did, and they still do. Didn't work as well with us because I put a very big tax on their cars, tremendous tariff, 50%, because everybody was moving to China to build their plants. And then they'd sell back into the U.S., and we wouldn't even charge them. So we changed it around a lot. But now we're going to finish it with the big, I call it the Big Daddy, reciprocal trade. I will revoke China's most favored nation. So they get a favored nations. That means they get the whole world, because they see we're a developing nation. You know what? If you look at some of our cities and everything else, we're a developing nation too. Our cities are in bedlam. We're more of a developing nation than they are. They don't have the problems that these Democrat mayors and governors have, where they've destroyed their states and they've destroyed their cities. I will revoke China's most favored nation trade status, and we will impose stiff penalties on China and other trade abusers. We have tremendous trade abusers. They think we're so stupid. They look at this guy Biden. He doesn't know where the hell he is. He can't put two sentences together. He can't get off a stage. There's a stair right there. I never understand. He's always looking around. Where do I go? This guy is it's so bad. Can you imagine President Xi of China? He's sharp. You know, the press hates when I say he's sharp. I actually called him very smart one day. Oh, he called him smart, you know. He runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist, and I call him smart. They say, President Trump called him smart. They want me to say he's a stupid man. They've been ripping us off for so many years. They're very smart. But can you imagine when they meet this guy, Biden? I mean, they see him. I see it. I talk to him. They say, we don't believe it. They think it's some kind of a game that I'm playing. It's like a chess game. They don't really believe this is happening. They say, what's going on here, Ashley? They say, what's going on here? There's some kind of a game being played. This can't be possible. The guy can't talk. He just gave a 1 minute and 15-second speech. That's a big speech for him. On what happened today in Israel, 1 minute and 15 seconds. It wasn't it wasn't Winston Churchill, let's put it that way. Never have so few done so much for so many. This was not Winston Churchill. He was talking about the Spitfire pilots. You know that? The Spitfires, they knocked the German planes, which were bigger, better, stronger, but the Spitfires were unbelievable by luck or whatever. But they could turn on a screw. These big, strong, powerful planes, they couldn't fight with them. But he said, never have so few done so much for so many. Biden doesn't talk that way. Biden doesn't talk that way. What a disgrace. What's happened to our country with inflation.